In the previous class, we are discussing about approximate and ultimate analysis. So what is the difference between approximate analysis and ultimate analysis? Now, when we are discussing about the approximate analysis, in the approximate analysis, the coal sample containing a non-conductile matter, the coal sample containing non-conductile matter like moisture, volatile matter, ash. Moisture, volatile matter, ash మనం డిటర్మైన్ చేయడానికి ఏం వాడతాడంటే approximate analysis వాడతారు. Let me see here. In the previous class, we have discussed how we are determining the moisture content in the coal sample. The moisture content in the coal sample, which is determined where we are taking 1 gram of the finely powdered coal sample. And repeating, we are taking 1 gram of the powdered coal sample, which should be taken in the silica crucible, and it should be placed in the electric hot air oven. It should be placed in the electric hot air oven, and we are maintaining the temperature like 105 to 110 degrees centigrade temperature, and it should be heated for 1 hour. Then what will happen? 1 gram coal sample ni mano electric hot air oven lo teeskondi. 1 gram of the coal sample should be taken in the silica crucible. It should be heated about 110 degrees centigrade. The process should be done for 1 hour. Then after the heating process, the coal sample containing the moisture is completely separated. I'm repeating. The coal sample containing the moisture, and the moisture is completely separated. That means that we are finding the loss in the weight of the coal sample divided by the weight of the coal sample multiplied with 100. For suppose the weight of the coal sample here we are taking as 1 gram. The loss in the weight we are taking that is equals to 0.10 gram. The net weight is equals to 0.90 gram. So we are finding the percentage like this, 0.10 by 10 into 100. The resultant what we are getting is 10%. So the percentage of the moisture present in the coal sample which is examined or which is calculated or which is determined when it is taken in the silica crucible, it is taken in the hot air oven, and it should be heated about 110 degrees centigrade temperature. 110 degrees centigrade temperature man heat cheyalana, the process should be done for 1 hour. Then what will happen? Change in the weight of the coal sample takes place. The change in the weight, actual weight is equals to 1 gram. Actual weight is equals to 1 gram. There is a change in the weight. W changes to W1. During the heating process, what is happening? During the heating process, what is happening is the thing that initially we are taking the weight of the coal sample is equals to 1 gram. Initially, you are taking the weight of the coal sample equals to 1 gram. The change in the weight of the coal sample is equals to 0.9 gram. The loss in the weight is equals to 0.10. I'm repeating. The loss in the weight equals to 0.10. So when we are taking the percentage of the moisture that is separated during the heating process is calculated by the percentage of the moisture is equals to loss in the weight of the coal sample divided by weight of coal sample into 100. Simple. Next. Now the coal sample containing second part of impurity. Then what is an importance and significance of that moisture present in the coal sample? Moisture is known to be an impurity present in the coal sample, right? If the coal sample containing the moisture, if the coal sample contain the moisture, the quality of the coal sample decreases. Generally, మనకి తీసుకున్న coal sample, మనం coal ఎలా extract చేస్తాం? జాగ్రత్తగా ఉన్నాను. The coal is extracted by the mining process. Mining process నుంచి మీరు coal extract చేయండి. Mining process నుంచి coal extract చేస్తే coal is known to be solid fuel. నేను coal అని చెప్తాను solid fuel అంటాను. And this solid fuel containing some part of moisture content. If the moisture content increases, combustion character decreases, right? Combustion character is nothing but thermal value decreases. Generally, మనం coal sample కి మనం grading ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు when we are giving the grading to the coal sample, an ideal coal sample must containing the low percentage of the moisture. I'm repeating. An ideal coal sample, it must containing the low percentage of the moisture. So, and here we are taking the coal sample, it containing the 10% of the moisture, and it should be reduced. The moisture content should be reduced. An ideal coal sample containing less percentage of the moisture. Number 2. I will tell you what is known to be the volatile matter. Now, the coal sample during the mining process, మనం mining నుంచి coal extract చేసేటప్పుడు, and this coal sample containing second part of impurity, the second part of impurity is known to be the volatile matter. Second part of impurity ఏం చెప్తారు మనకి? Volatile matter అని చెప్తాడండి. I will tell you volatile, what is going to be volatile matter. The word that volatile matters are nothing but the impurities present on the coal sample and those impurities containing lower density, right? Generally, మనం coal extract చేసేటప్పుడు it containing some part of impurity and those impurities are which is containing lower density. So when we are heating the coal sample, the impurities are easily evaporated. The impurities are separated where we are taking the coal sample in the crucible, and it should be taken in the electrical furnace. Coal sample crucible lo తీసుకున్నాను, electrical furnace lo తీసుకోండి. Electric furnace ని muffle furnace అని చెప్తాడు. Now it should be heated about 950 degrees centigrade. The duration of heating should be 7 minutes. Okay, నేను మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నాను. Coal sample should be taken in the electric furnace. Okay, it should be heated about 950 degrees centigrade temperature for 7 minutes. Then what will happen? Now, when we are heating the coal sample about 950 for 7 minutes, then there is a change in the weight. The change in the weight indicating that loss in the weight of the volatile matter is identified. You see this? Loss in the weight of the volatile matter divided by weight of coal sample into 100. Weight of coal sample into 100. Now, based on this calculation, we can determine the percentage of the volatile matter. The percentage of the volatile matter present in the coal sample. Next. Then what is the importance of the volatile matter? Volatile matter is known to be an impurity. Then if a coal sample containing the highest percentage of volatile matter, then its combustion value decreases, its thermal value decreases. An ideal coal sample must containing low percentage of volatile matter. Ideal coal sample, it must containing lowest percentage of the volatile matter. Next. Now, the coal sample it may containing ash content. Generally, మనం coal తీసుకుని burn చేసేటప్పుడు some of the samples gives rise to highest percentage of ash. Ash is nothing but a black colored smoke. Okay, right. Now, the coal sample it may give rise to highest percentage of ash, highest percentage of smoke, indicating that the coal sample containing the highest percentage of an impurity. So, if the coal sample containing ash as an impurity and ash is also decreasing thermal value, అంటే మనం తీసుకున్న coal sample లోని ash అనేది ఒక impurity గా ఉందనుకోండి, coal sample thermal value అనేది decrease అవుతుంది. You see this. The residual coal sample, the ash percentage, the ash impurity present in the coal sample, which is determined by using the following process. Coal sample should be taken in the crucible. It should be heated at 700 degrees centigrade, and the process should be done for half an hour. Coal sample should be taken in the crucible. It should be taken in the muffle furnace, and it should be heated for 700 degrees centigrade. The time taken for the heating should be half an hour heat cycle. Then what will happen? During the heating process, the coal sample containing ash, the ash percentage should be removed. Ash content should be removed. Ash content మనం separate చేస్తున్నాం. So again we are finding the percentage of ash. Ash percentage can be calculated weight of ash left divided by weight of coal sample taken into 100. Then now we should identify the percentage of fixed carbon. The percentage of fixed carbon when we are discussing, the percentage of fixed carbon is equals to 100% minus non-combustible matter చెప్పండి, percentage of moisture plus percentage of volatile matter plus percentage of ash. Suppose ఇవన్నీ కూడా 10% అనుకోండి. 10% of moisture is present in the coal sample, 10% of volatile matter present in the coal sample, 10% of ash is present in the coal sample. Then the percentage of non-combustible matter calculate చేద్దాం ఒకసారి. 100 minus 10 10 10 ఎంత వస్తుంది చెప్పండి. 100 minus 10 10 10 is equals to 30. 100 minus 30 is equals to carbon percentage value is equals to 70 and impurities percentage is equals to 30. If the impurities are about 30%, the coal sample what we are saying is non-ideal coal sample. మనం తీసుకున్న coal samples లోని impurities value ఎక్కువగా ఉందనుకోండి. If the coal sample containing the highest percentage of moisture, volatile matter and ash, which indicating that it is known to be non-ideal fuel, right? It is known to be the non-ideal coal sample. Okay, the non-ideal coal sample which contain low thermal value. So we are seeing the fixed carbon calculation. When we are discussing about the fixed carbon calculation, the percentage of fixed carbon is equals to 100% minus percentage of moisture plus percentage of volatile matter plus percentage of ash. Now you see this importance and significance of carbon. The ideal coal sample must containing highest percentage of carbon. In మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను జాగ్రత్తగా. An ideal coal sample must containing the highest percentage of carbon. If it containing the highest percentage of carbon, greater the percentage of carbon, greater will be the calorific value. I'm repeating. Greater is the percentage of carbon, the greater will be the calorific value. So The percentage of impurities like moisture, volatile matter, ash. The impurities like moisture, volatile matter, ash, which is determined by the heating process. The heating process should be done in the three process like number one is known to be hot air oven. You see this. Number one is known to be that hot air oven heating. Number two is known to be that heating in the muffle furnace. And number three, I would like to mention heating in the muffle furnace at 700 degrees centigrade. So the coal sample containing three parts of impurities. Impurity one is known to be the moisture. Impurity two is known to be volatile matter. And the impurity three is known to be ash. They are separated by the heating process. And also we are determining the percentage of moisture, volatile matter, ash present in the coal sample. But we see the continuation here. It's very, very important. What is known to be the ultimate analysis? Now, I send the English and respond down in the chat box. Is it clear? Now, I send the audible on the right. Very good. Respond down. Yes. Now, let me see the continuation here. The process what we are saying is ultimate analysis. I will tell you what is known to be the ultimate analysis. Now, when we are discussing about ultimate analysis, during the ultimate analysis, we are determining percentage of series. Ultimate analysis, we are determining percentage of carbon, right? Percentage of hydrogen, okay, and the oxygen. Now, let me tell you again. During the ultimate analysis, the coal sample which containing, I'm repeating, the coal sample which containing combuctile matter. What is the combuctile matter here? Carbon is known to be a combuctile matter. Hydrogen is known to be a combuctile matter. The coal sample which containing combuctile matter like a carbon, which containing combuctile matter like hydrogen, and it containing the combuctile matter like sulfur, and a non-combuctile matter like nitrogen. Ultimate analysis మనం ఏం డిటర్మైన్ చేస్తామంటే in the ultimate analysis we are determining carbon, hydrogen, sulfur, nitrogen. The percentage of elemental composition present in the solid fuel sample. The percentage of elemental composition present in the solid fuel sample like carbon, hydrogen, sulfur, nitrogen, which is determined with the help of ultimate analysis. Now we will see what is known to be the ultimate analysis. Now we are discussing about ultimate analysis. The reaction can be identified by the combustion process. Atomic number of carbon is equals to 12 and oxygen is equals to 32. Carbon burns in the presence of oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide is equals to 44. Simple. At hydrogen atomic number is equals to 2. Okay. Oxygen gram molecular weight is equals to when you are taking 16. Then gram molecular weight of H2O when we are taking is equals to 18. H2 plus R4 gives rise to H2O. Then simple. C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. H2 plus R4 gives rise to H2. Carbon dioxide gram molecular weight is equals to 44. And H2O gram molecular weight equals to 80. So just we are going through the simple combustion reaction. Concept chala easy andi. Carbon burns in the presence of oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide. Hydrogen oxygen condition of burn cheyali. H2 plus R4 gives rise to H2. So the amount of carbon dioxide which is identified by passing through KOH solution. When it is passed through the KOH solution, carbon dioxide is converted to give potassium carbonate. Simple. Hydrogen is converted to give H2O. The amount of the H2O produced during the combustion reaction is calculated when it is passed through the calcium chloride tube. Calcium chloride solution and it is converting into precipitate. The precipitate is known to be calcium chloride hydrated. Simple. Carbon gives rise to carbon dioxide. Hydrogen gives rise to H2O. Increasing the percentage of carbon dioxide, increasing the percentage of potassium carbonate. So based on the weight of K2CO3, we can determine the percentage of carbon dioxide and we can determine the percentage of carbon. Then hydrogen gives rise to H2O and H2O gives rise to calcium chloride hydrated complex, increasing the percentage of calcium chloride hydrated complex, increasing the weight of calcium chloride, increasing the percentage of H2O, increasing the percentage of H2O, indicating that we can determine the increasing the percentage of hydrogen. The percentage of hydrogen is identified based on the weight of calcium chloride hydrated precipitate. The percentage of carbon is identified based on the weight of potassium carbonate. Simple. Let me see the mathematical calculation here. You see this. Percentage of carbon can be determined like this. Increase in the weight of KOH2 into atomic weight of carbon is equals to 12 into 100 divided by weight of coal sample is equals to 1 gram into gram molecular weight of carbon dioxide is equals to 44. Simple. Percentage of hydrogen can be determined like this. Increasing the weight of calcium chloride tube into then atomic weight of hydrogen is equals to 2 into 100 into weight of coal sample is equals to 1 gram into gram molecular weight of H2 is equals to 80. ఒకసారి ఫార్ములా మళ్ళీ చూద్దాం నాన్న. Percentage of carbon can be determined using the mathematical calculation. You see this, increasing the weight of KOH tube into atomic weight of carbon equals to 12 into 100 by weight of coal sample into 44 is nothing but carbon dioxide gram molecular weight. Percentage of hydrogen can be determined like this, increasing the weight of calcium chloride tube into then 2 into atomic weight of hydrogen into 100 divided by weight of coal sample into 18 equals to gram molecular weight of H2. Okay. Based on these two conditions, based on these two formulas, we can identify percentage of carbon and as well as percentage of hydrogen. The process what we are saying as ultimate analysis, right? That we see the contribution first. The importance of carbon and the hydrogen. Ideal coal sample must containing the highest percentage of carbon. Okay. When the carbon percentage increases, the combustion value increases. When the carbon percentage increases, then the combustion value is also increases. So carbon and the hydrogen both are known to be that an essential element that should be present in the coal sample. మనం తీసుకున్న కోల్ శాంపిల్ లో థర్మల్ ఎనర్జీ వాల్యూ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవ్వాలంటే కంపల్సరీగా ఏమి ఉండాలన్నా కార్బన్ హైడ్రోజన్ పర్సెంటేజ్ అనేది మాక్సిమం గా ఉండాలి. పాయింట్ గుర్తుంచుకోండి. నెక్స్ట్, ద హౌ వీఆర్ డిటర్మైనింగ్ నైట్రోజన్ మెథడ్, రైట్? The percentage of nitrogen present in the coal sample, which is determined based on the Zeldal flask method. మీరు ఆల్రెడీ ల్యాబొరేటరీలోని కోనికల్ ఫ్లాస్క్ చూసారా, వాల్యూమెట్రిక్ ఫ్లాస్క్ చూసారు కదండి. సేమ్ అలాగే మీకు జెల్డాల్ ఫ్లాస్క్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఇన్ ద జెల్డాల్ ఫ్లాస్క్ మెథడ్ ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ ద కోల్ శాంపిల్ 1 gram. To the 1 gram coal sample I'm adding sulfuric acid and potassium sulfate. జాగ్రత్తగా ఉన్నాను. I would like to add H2SO4 and K2SO4. H2SO4 is sulfuric acid, K2SO4 is going to be potassium sulfate. Now, to the solution I'm adding excess of KOH. Excess of KOH add cheyandi. Sulfuric acid plus K2SO4 plus excess of KOH. During the process, nitrogen is converted as ammonia and ammonia is converted as nitrogen is converted as an ammonia gas and ammonia is converted as ammonium hydroxide solution. Simple. Again, I'm repeating what is going to be Zeldal flask method. In the Zeldal flask method, when we are taking a Zeldal flask containing 1 gram of the coal sample, repeating. Zeldal flask containing 1 gram of the coal sample. To the 1 gram of the coal sample, the weight of the coal sample that should be heated at high temperature in the presence of sulfuric acid, potassium sulfate, and excess of potassium hydroxide. Then what will happen? Nitrogen is converted to give ammonia. When it is treated with that water, ammonia is converted to give ammonium hydroxide. Ammonia is converted to give ammonium hydroxide. Simple. Increasing the percentage of ammonium hydroxide, increasing the percentage of NH3, and increasing the percentage of nitrogen. I'm repeating. Increasing the percentage of NH4OH, increasing the percentage of NH3, and increasing the percentage of nitrogen. So we'll see the calculation based on the formula series. Now, the percentage of nitrogen is identified based on the volume of acid used. ఇక్కడ మనం ఉపయోగించే యాసిడ్ ఏంటంటే సల్ఫ్యూరిక్ యాసిడ్ కదా. సల్ఫ్యూరిక్ యాసిడ్ వాల్యూమ్ మనం క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ తీసుకోవాలని వాల్యూమ్ ఆఫ్ sulfuric acid used and its normality. Mostly we are taking 0.1 normality. Then 1.4 is known to be that nitrogen atomic number is equals to 14 and nitrogen atomic number 14 divided by 100 అయితే మనకు ఎంత వస్తుందన్న, ఇది యాక్చువల్లీ 14 by 100 మాట. డైరెక్ట్గా ఇచ్చేసారు వాడు. 14 by 100. The sample should be prepared for 100 ml. 14 by 100 మీరు చేయండి. That is going to be the 1.4, right? Now 14 into calculation మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను. Volume of acid is equals to normality into, now this value should be 14. Yeah, this one, easy to this one. It is known to be 14. Now we are preparing unknown. We are preparing unknown for 100 ml. The solution standard is known to be the 1000 ml. Solution standard 1 liter ml. Unknown ఇప్పుడు దేని ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తాం 100 ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తాం 100 by 1000 ఎంత 10 14 by 10 చెప్పండి 10 by 14 is equals to 1.5 డైరెక్ట్ గా రాసేస్తాం అంతకంటే ఇంకేం కాదు సో వాల్యూమ్ ఆఫ్ యాసిడ్ యూజ్డ్ is known to be sulfuric acid volume, right? Normality is equals to 0.1 normal, then 1.4 divided by weight of coal sample. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పాను మీకు weight of coal sample we are taking is going to be that 1 gram. Based on this formula, we are finding percentage of nitrogen. Nitrogen which is calculated with the help of Geldahl flask method. మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నాను Geldahl flask method బేస్ చేసుకొని మనం ఏం చేస్తాం నైట్రోజన్ డిటర్మైన్ చేస్తాం. Okay, next. Now we are determining nitrogen does not contribute the calorific value. Nitrogen అనేది calorific value with influence చూపించిందని. So nitrogen is known to be non-combustible matter. A good quality of coal sample must containing low percentage of nitrogen. An ideal coal sample, a quality of coal sample must containing lowest percentage of nitrogen. Point. Next, the last content where we are discussing the percentage of sulfur. Sulfur man determine చేసేటప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి అంటే again we are taking the coal sample burn చేయాలని and it is reacted with that barium chloride solution. దీన్ని మనం ఏం చేద్దామంటే barium chloride తో ట్రీట్ చేయాలి, which is treated with the barium chloride. Barium chloride is known to be that BaCl2. Then the resultant we are getting barium sulfate. When the sulfur reacted with that barium chloride, it gives rise to barium sulfate. Now we should identify increasing the weight of barium sulfate, increasing the percentage of sulfur. Increasing the percentage of barium sulfate, increasing the percentage of sulfur. You see this percentage of sulfur can be identified by knowing the weight of barium sulfate into sulfur atomic number enta 32 into 100 divided by weight of coal sample. చూడండి, weight of coal sample is equals to 1 gram. Weight of coal sample equals to 1 gram into 232 is nothing but gram molecular weight of barium sulfate. Gram molecular weight of barium sulfate. మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను. Percentage of sulfur can be determined as weight of barium sulfate. Weight of barium sulfate is nothing but increasing the weight of the barium sulfate, increasing the percentage. Well, because when the sulfur is treated with it, when the coal sample contained in the sulfur, when it is treated with the barium chloride, it is converting into barium sulfate. So weight of the barium sulfate into atomic weight of sulfur equals 32 into 100 divided by weight of coal sample equals to 1 gram into gram molecular weight of barium sulfate is equals to 230. Based on this formula, we are finding the percentage of sulfur present in the coal sample. Simple. Sulfur containing some calorific value, right? Sulfur is also known to be the combustible matter, but sulfur containing toxic nature. And finally, we are finding the percentage of oxygen content is equals to 100